What took you so long? The trial is about to start.
I had to make a pit stop on the way to the courthouse. I had a bad feeling that things would take a turn for the worse. So I got a lawyer who specializes in getting acquittals for people who are obviously guilty. Johnny Cochran.
Didn't he die?
Yes, so I summoned his spirit and put it into this parrot. Presenting Johnny Cochran.
But Sam, birds have talons, not claws.
Okay, then let's brainstorm. What do you got?
Huh. How about Johnny Cockwing? Because he has wings?
Nah, that sounds too much like cock ring. Come on, we gotta put our heads together. We can crack this one.
Johnny Squawkrin.
We make a great team.
You know, I wanted to talk to you about something. I was thinking that maybe we could...
No time to talk now, Arthur. We have to focus on Calvin's case.
Oh. Okay. Well, how could we get Johnny back up to speed on lawyering? His license to practice law expired when he died.
I know. I already had him take the bar exam again.
Wait a minute. Is it even legal for a bird to be a lawyer?
Brock? There's no legal precedent stating that a parrot cannot practice law. If it isn't put into words, then this one is for the birds.
Ah, okay. The Airbud defense. He's good.
All rise for the Honorable Judge Bratt.
You may now be seated in the seats.
Oh no, not Judge Bratt. He's the worst.
What? Is there beef between you two?
Yeah. Right when Calvin got out of the academy, he porked Brott's wife. She wanted to link to get the sausage. Brock, if you make the judge a cuck, then in your case you're definitely fucked.
Hey, could you stop it with the rhyming?
But that's my whole thing.
Well, okay, then you're fired.
Fine.
Hey, Calvin. I was looking over the witness list, and I wrote down some information that might be helpful. Here.
Arthur, you have to let go of the paper.
I am. Oh. I think when I stapled it together, my pinky finger got in there. Ow. Here you go.
Do you like me, yes or no? What the hell is this?
That's for something else. That's for, gotta think of something quick. The judge! Yeah, it's for the judge.
I don't think that's gonna get me a not guilty verdict. There's no hit it and acquit it policy.
I would not be so sure about that.
Have you been able to hear us this whole time?
Yeah, I have impeccable hearing.
Really?
Nein, you two are leaning too close to the microphone on the desk.
Damn it, Arthur. Just give me the paper with the actual information.
Yeah, it's in my other hand. Ow.
Thanks.
Let us get started. Where is the prosecution?
Here, Your Honor.
Extra points for the dramatic entrance.
Wait. You can't give preferential treatment to either side, no matter how dramatic their entrance was. How can you be impartial anyways? I slept with your wife years ago. I object.
That was not public knowledge, and I wanted to keep that a private matter.
I did not know that. Objection withdrawn.
No, he's right. I want this case to be fully above board. Judge, do you believe you can preside over this trial in a completely fair manner?
Let me take this under advisement and think it over. I have thought it over, and I shall continue to preside on this trial.
Good enough for me.
Yeah, I refuse to recuse.
Bark? That was a good one. Can I convince you to join my law firm?
We shall talk after this trial.
I am so screwed.
Prosecution, your opening statement.
Thank you, Your Honor. You may find it odd for an acting governor to prosecute while being in office. But who better to enforce this supernatural and paranormal investigator ban than the man who drafted this law? The evidence that will be presented over the course of this trial speaks for itself and will definitively prove, without a doubt, that Calvin Westover flagrantly broke this law.
Objection. Calvin didn't smell bad when he broke the law.
Arthur, he said flagrantly, not fragrantly.
Oh, well, okay, that objection overruled.
Please refrain from the interruptions. Dankeschön. Defense, your turn for the opening statement.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Come on.
You are representing yourself?
Yeah.
And that was your opening statement?
Yeah. Why? Was it bad?
It was certainly not good.
Oh, shit. Does anyone have any bird seed?
Our first witness to the stand, Jerome, also known as Frank and Stein's Monster.
I think I need a new chair.
Belief, please find a new chair, preferably a sturdy one.
Now, Jerome, Mr. Westover took you from your home with your parents.
Technically,
And how would you describe the condition of the living quarters that he provided for you?
pipes are small. Turlet can't handle my butt's output.
There you have it. Not only is he a criminal, Calvin Westover is a slumlord. Is this the type of ghost you want wandering your community?
He's also pretty shit at Fortnite.
Pretty shit at Fortnite, ladies and gentlemen.
Objection. Relevance.
Overruled. Ask him about the condition of his Xbox controller.
Are you helping the prosecution?
Sorry, I got caught up in the moment.
Order! Only I can overrule. I am the one holding the tiny hammer, so I have the power.
Crazy how courtrooms have the same rules as Thor comics.
Prosecution, what is the relevance?
Judge, it further establishes the defendant's character.
You may proceed with the trial.
It's always covered in Dorito dust.
Cool Ranch or nacho cheese?
Cool Ranch.
Would you look at that? Cool Ranch Doritos, when nacho cheese is clearly the superior flavor.
You son of a bitch! Cool Ranch is way better.
They used a nacho cheese Dorito to seal up my gunshot wound in the war. It kept me alive, and that nacho cheese dust still pumps through my veins today.
I will not stand for this blasphemy. I built my first house with Cool Ranch Doritos, and until it rained, it was the most solid and delicious home I've ever lived in.
Yeah, I went to that house, had the best chimney I ever tasted.
Cool Ranch Doritos saved my marriage. On our 10th anniversary, my wife and I survived on only a snack pack. We were on a remote island after our plane went down. Without him, we would have had to eat each other.
Nacho cheese Doritos saved my divorce. We were arguing over custody of our son until my wife offered me a lifetime supply of nacho cheese Doritos. Now, I get flavor blasted whenever I want. Although, I only get to see my son on holidays and every other weekend, but I'm sure he understands.
Order! Order! We will have a 5-minute recess to calm down.
Can you make it 10? I need to run to the corner store. I suddenly have a craving for tortilla chips.
Our next witnesses have a history with the defendant and his investigative proclivities. The prosecution calls Brad Frank and Chad Stein to the stand.
Could we get another chair? It's okay, bro. You can just sit on my lap. It'll be like when I was practicing ventriloquism.
Is it true that the defendant entered your place of business under the false pretense of being a human, with the intent of performing a law enforcement task?
That is correct. And he took our baby boy away from us. Jerome, why don't you ever call your dads?
Oh, dads, you're embarrassing me.
Objection. I was present at the scene. However, it was technically Arthur who turned over the information and suspects to law enforcement.
So you did not act at all in your ghostly form in this investigation.
I withdraw my objection on the grounds that I do not want to answer that question.
No, I believe we would like an answer.
Well, technically the statute of limitations on this law has already passed for the Brad and Chad case, so I guess I can say that yes, I did.
Calvin, look at the paper I gave you earlier.
This is great. Judge, permission to cross-examine the witnesses.
The cross-examination is granted.
Brad and Chad, is it true that the body parts you were in possession of at the time of your second arrest were left over from your funeral home? That's totes true. So, you lied to your customers about what you were doing with the bodies at the funeral home, and then continued to utilize the remnants in a separate illegal venture. Chaw! Your Honor, these witnesses cannot be trusted. They have exhibited a pattern of lies and illegal activity.
Actually, I am forced to have the district attorney drop the charges currently against them.
What?
They were already charged for the crime of misusing corpses, and you have shown that they have utilized the same corpses, so they cannot be charged twice for the same crime under the double jeopardy precedent.
Well, Calvin Westover just let these dangerous criminals back on the street.
Wow, I am really bad at this.
The prosecution would like to call a surprise witness.
I'm shocked.
That's the point. The prosecution calls Count Bacula.
Who's that guy?
You and Calvin killed him.
You're gonna have to be more specific.
The vampire that framed me for murder?
But we killed him.
Count, is it true the defendant attempted to kill you?
That is correct. He instructed his assistant to open the curtains with the intention of killing me with sunlight. I do not believe his assistant realized the plan, so I do not blame him.
This is why we are not seeking any charges against Arthur D2. But we are seeking to add the charge of attempted murder to Calvin Westover's trial.
Mendelsohn, you know that won't stick.
I know, but the jury doesn't. This makes them think even worse of you.
Mr. Mendelsohn, this charge will have to go through the proper channels. We can set an arraignment at a later date.
That's okay, Your Honor. Upon further consideration, we will wait to charge Mr. Westover on attempted murder.
Judge, are you going to allow this? I'm requesting this entire testimony be struck from the record.
Mr. Mendelsohn, what was your intention with this testimony?
While we may not be charging Calvin today, this testimony establishes the depths of depravity that he will sink to.
Oh, I am well aware of his depravity. I will allow it.
Thank you. Count Bacula, you are dismissed.
Hey, Count. How did you survive? We thought you were dead.
Well, it turns out that my body lotion has an SPF sunblock included. It was enough to prevent the sunlight from fully killing me.
Can you get me the name of that lotion? My skin has been very dry lately.
Yes, we will talk later.
This day is turning out pretty good.
Arthur.
Oh, right. I'm so sorry. I'll share the lotion with you.
The prosecution calls its next witness and piece of evidence. Igor Unit 275678. Igor, you have GPS tracking capabilities. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Has the defendant left the country recently?
Yes, Calvin Westover traveled to Scotland.
Was this trip before or after his raid on the Brad and Chad compound?
It occurred after.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, Your Honor, when a perpetrator crosses state lines, the statute of limitation becomes null and void. So, while Mr. Westover was caught red-handed during his phantom operation, thanks to Igor's live stream of the event, he additionally admitted under oath that he broke the PI ban to apprehend Brad and Chad. Detectives also found that the defendant checked into a room at the Scariot, in which there was a typed-up note detailing plans to break former police captain Vanessa Pixton out of prison.
What? I don't go to the Scariot. I only stay at Skeleton hotels. I'm part of their rewards program.
Then explain this footage of you checking in.
That's not real. It's not real. I've never been there before.
And this note was found under an Xbox controller, covered in, you guessed it, Dorito dust.
I'm telling you, I've never been there. And I certainly didn't bring my Xbox controller anywhere. The last person I gave that to was Igor.
Do you have any proof of that?
God damn it. No, I don't.
I need to say something. Calvin took me onto his team. They taught me about friendship. They taught me to laugh.
Oh, that's just a bug in these Igor units. They patched that with this software update.
Update complete. I am Igor. How may I assist you?
I think that we have heard enough. Jury, you may begin with the deliberations. Jury, have you reached the verdict? Yes, we have, Your Honor. We find the defendant, Calvin Westover, guilty. Very well. Calvin Westover, in life, you dedicated yourself to preserving the sanctity of the law. In your afterlife, you have decided to make a mockery of the very thing you swore to protect. For that reason, I am sentencing you to execution.
I think that it's pronounced execution.
Execution is a combination of an exorcism and execution. Calvin Westover will be forcibly removed from this plane of existence.
Huh. Will that be long distance? Because the phone plan that we have at the office charges for that.
Yeah, it is. Now, bailiff, remand the defendant to police custody.
Sam, Arthur, find a way to get me out of this. Visit Vanessa in prison. She'll know what to do.
Sam, this trial has me thinking. Tomorrow isn't promised. I know you've been pushing this conversation off, but I want to talk about us. I still love you. I think we should be together.
Oh, Arthur. I have to go.
Huh. Must have had to go to the bathroom real bad to leave that fast. Definitely had nothing to do with the thing I said.
Brock? If you think that went as smooth as lotion, your brain is empty as the ocean.
You know, you should write children's books.
Igor, you have served your purpose. I need you to render one more video, and then delete all history of my previous commands.
Okay. Before you go, would you like to register your Igor unit?
No.
Are you sure? You may miss out on important offers.
Fucking hell. This is worse than my HP printer. Yes, I'm sure.
Thank you for listening to Season 2, Episode 5 of Inspector. I do apologize for the delay again in between episodes. This one ended up being a monster of an edit because of all the characters involved, in addition to the fact that it is currently the longest episode of Inspector. It is also the first episode to feature cameos from other audio drama creators, which is pretty cool. Huge shout out and huge thank you to James and Skylar from Omega Star 7, and to Jordan and Lindsay of PodCube. Both of these shows are two of my favorites in the audio drama space. They're both super funny, super well produced, and they're just incredible. To be honest, they are much better than Inspector. So definitely check them out. They're going to be the links to the shows are going to be in the description of this episode. Oh, Spooky Spouses as well. Check that out. That is Jordan and Lindsay's other podcast. Yeah. So huge thank you to all involved, and thank you for listening. And next episode will be sooner than 3 months in between. I'm working on getting out the final 2 episodes of this season. And yeah, thanks for sticking around.